Hello everyone, this is Darky again, and as promised, I'm bringing to you another video, this time of my Week 2 match and Week 2 team building video for my battle against, this time, the London Leavannys, coached by Dab. Um, Unlike last week, I'm going to be um, doing the battle live, so in what seems to be about 10 minutes, I'll be joined by Dab and we'll be battling it out right here on Showdown. And so before we get to this, I'm going to take a few minutes to explain my picks, my brings, and go over my sets. First, let's take a look at the opponent's team. The Leavannys have Landorus T, Mega Scissor, Talonflame, Crawdaunt, Porygon 2, Tentacruel, Bronzong, Spiritomb, Xcloud, Shiftry, Tauros, and their team mascot, Leavanny. Now, what I see here is that this team is terrifying not because of the individual Pokemon themselves. Of course, Mega Scizor, Talonflame are both very solid sweepers, and the Landorusty is an abomination that hits like a truck. But the real danger of this team is that it has amazing options for speed control. Just off over the top of my head, Leavanny here learns it learns webs, which means that it has the potential of just deciding to slow down all of my team, which naturally outspeeds his, basically, and it's a very viable option for him. However, my opponent also has the option of going for a more simple Trick Room team, using the likes of Bronzong, Spiritomb, Porygon 2, and Xcloud to do a lot of damage. Xcloud under Trick Room is not to be trifled with, and one-shotting Bronzong and Porygon 2 is a bit of a pain in the ass. Probably not going to happen, actually, and the likelihood of having to deal with Trick Room is actually pretty high. Provided I don't get to counter that, actually, it might be sort of a worst case scenario, but I do have some things in mind in order to somewhat deal with it. And then next, third option for my opponent, they have very solid priority. Their sweeper is right over here. Scizor and Talonflame, of course, are known for using Swords Dance and then just killing everything with priority Brave Bird on Talonflame and priority Technician Bullet Punch on the Mega Scizor, and even Crawdaunt, if it sets up Dragon Dances or Swords Dance, can be very dangerous and kill a lot of stuff with just the Aqua Jet, which is also a priority move. Of course, right over here, we've also got Spiritomb, which has access to the Sucker Punch and Shadow Sneak, but they're not remotely as impressive or dangerous as the Pokemon I named above. Now, my opponent's fastest one are Talonflame and Tauros, which are fast, but not super fast. Mega Lopunny handily outspeeds all of them. And speaking of Mega Lopunny, let's go take a look at the team we've brought. First is Malevolence, the Dragonite. This time I'm bringing Multi-Scale Expert Belt Special Dragonite with 196 EVs and HP, 252 EVs and Special Attack, Modest Natured with 60 EVs and Speed. I figured since I'm not going to have a lot of control on the speed this match, with the exception of Lopunny and Manectric, which you'll see a bit farther down the road, all my Pokemon are not going to be very much invested in speed. Rather, I'm going to keep them at stock speed and try and be more flexible, depending on what kind of meddling my opponent brings. And yet, I've just put a tiny bit of speed on Dragonite. The reason for that being with 60 speed. Dragonite outspeeds Adamant, max speed Crawdaunt, and then gets to one-hit KO with the Thunderbolt. So yeah, that's the reason for that. With multi-scale and 196 speed, I get to tank a bunch of pretty solid hits. I'm not going to be one-hit KO'd by much of anything, and I'll be able to do a lot of damage and a lot of Pokemon and Steams. Thunderbolt and Surf can 2-hit KO Talonflame easily enough, provided it's not the fully specially defensive set. Surf 2-hit KO Xandorus, whichever set he brings. Flamethrower absolutely 1-hit KOs Mega Scissor, whatever set he brings. I can do a lot of damage on the Tentacruel, provided it doesn't have Ice Beam and KOs me. It does a lot of damage on the Bronzong. It does a lot of damage on the Chiftry. It kills Leavany. It does decent damage on everything else, except for Porygon 2. Nevertheless, Special Dragonite is going to be one of my key mons to success, I believe, in this matchup. Next, we've got Versa Breton. We've got the Lopunny, Mega Lopunny, actually. With the Limber ability pre-Mega Evolution, so I can come in on a predicted Thunder Wave, should it happen. Mega Lopunny has access to High Jump Kick, Fake Out, Fire Punch, Ice Punch. These moves are pretty self-explanatory. Fire Punch for the Mega Scissor. The Bronzong, if I predict the Protect, maybe Fake Out in order to have some priority and just shut down, take out sashes, get a free Mega Evolution off. High Jump Kick kills everything, bar the Talonflame, and yeah. I think that's pretty fast. And it covers the whole explanation behind the mon. Maxed attack, Adamant, nothing outspeeds unless they are scarfed. And we'll cross that bridge if we get to it. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I've got bulkier mons to deal with potential scarfed Pokemon on my opponent's team, and I'm actually not expecting scarf mons considering my opponent has access to the webs. Here's Queenpin, the Empoleon, a very similar set to last time, except this time we get the Defiant ability. Since my opponent has 2 Pokemon with the Intimidate ability as well as webs, potentially, it leaves a lot of room for the Empoleon to actually raise that attack stat quite a bit. And between a Quadjet and Knockoff, I can do a bit of damage. Defog allows me to remove webs should they become a problem. And Scald is just for the burn chance. Generally speaking, it's going to do a lot of damage neutral. And thanks to that actually very good 111 special attack stat. Fully max special def in order to take on the X-Cloud, and negative speed 0 IVs in order to deal with Trick Room should it happen. Next we've got Jean Clafouti, the Manic Trick. It is Choice Spec, Static, Overheat, Hidden Power Ice, Full Switch, pretty standard. I gave the thing Switcheroo in order to potentially trick annoying setup mons and walls, crippling them in the process. Stuff like Bronzong, Porygon 2, if it's not invested in special attack. Well, it's kind of a trade-off. Like, I don't really intend to give it the choice specs, not the Porygon 2, but if I'm stuck, I will. In any case, with the Overheat and Volt Switch, I should deal a ton of damage on most mons on my opponent's team, and it leaves me a lot of room to Volt Turn endlessly on my opponent's team thanks to I Drown, the Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash has the Rocky Helmet, fully physically defensive in order to take on the likes of Mega Scizor, Talonflame, Tauros, and more. And I gave it Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split, Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, very standard set. There's nothing much to explain here. And next we've got the Ambulance, which is the Odino. Very similar set to last week's match, once again, except this time we're going for a more specially defensive build, and I gave it Encore in order to mess up with my opponent's walls. Now, I think my opponent's about ready to start. I'm going to look it up on Skype. It is time. I'm going to let him challenge me on Showdown. Alright. Sorry about that. There's going to be a few spectators like last time. A bunch of people from the league are going to be in the audience for the battle. And let's hope I'm not going to be sidetracked or let anxiety get the better of me. Let's see. I am in the lobby. Snoop Dab, I think it was. Hello? Let's see if he answers. For some reason he wasn't able to find me just prior to that. I believe that's the correct username. Let's see. Drafts. Yeah, that's him. Alright. Versus Leavannys. Custom game, yes, everything is alright. Let's start this. Alright. Ooh, okay, so we didn't bring either Talonflame or the Lender's Tea. My opponent decided to go for the what I suspect, either the Trick Room team or the Webs team. As we can see, they have the Bronzong, they've got the Porygon, they've got the Tauros. Tauros is a bit of a wonder, maybe as a revenge sweeper, in case their speed control falls out, peters out maybe. We've got the X-Cloud, a very bulky team between Bronzong and Porygon Zoo. Porygon 2 is actually not that big of a deal, not too bad considering I've brought Mega Lopunny with me. And then we've got the likes of my opponent's team is incredibly weak to Lopunny, and I'm going to go for a sweep right off the bat. Let's see. Oops, sorry about that. So let's try for a sweep right off the bat. Let's go. Mega Lopunny, you've got this. I'm just going to open Showdown, Skulk, and my opponent's still deciding what they're going to use as their leads. I'm predicting the Leavany, of course. Alright. Import. Okay, let's see. Here it goes. Iron Lady, the Bronzong versus Versal Breton, the Mega Lopunny. Let's go for the fake out, just Mega Evolve right off the bat. Let's see, it did 7%. Leftovers, let's call. Let's see what kind of Bronzong that is. Mega Lopunny, Adamant. Do I get my set? Was it not imported? Hello? Import? Okay. Mega... Oh, let's see. Lopunny. That's why. Never mind. Let's go for Mega Lopunny. All-out attacker. Not Jolie Adamant. Level 50. Versus Bronzong. Yu Tank, level 50. How much is let's see, fake out. Fake out does 9.7 to 12. It did 7%. Let's see. My opponent is fully defensive, I believe. Alright. So with that in mind, I don't want to stay in. there's a good chance my opponent is going to go for the KO. And I have a ton of Pokemon that can just come in on the on my opponent. So I'll just switch out into Queen Pen and we'll aim for the knockoff. So they went for the Stealth Rocks. That is okay with me. I'm just going to go for the knockoff here. Knock off the leftovers in process. Maybe knock off the item on whatever it is my opponent might want to bring. Here comes the Tauros. I get to knock off the Life Orb. So that means it's a fully offensive Tauros. Probably Jolly. Mike Bison. So considering it's Jolly, I'm not going to take the chance and eat that Earthquake in the face. I am just going to switch out into a Rotom Wash. There's no point in staying in. I don't want to risk going for the Defog, since my opponent did bring the Exploud into the battle. And besides, with no other threats outside of the Mega Scizor, as physically offensive mons, there's no point in not going out into Hydrown. Let's see. My opponent doesn't have anything to switch in on the Will-O-Wisp, so I'm just going to go for that. In comes the Lopunny, not the Lopunny, the Leavannys. I will cut you, fam. We'll see about that. I'm just going to Volt Switch right here. There's the... Excellent. So it's about to get heat. The opponent sets up Web. I'm going to send in the Queen Pen and take that sweet, sweet Defiant boost. It's heat. I'm going to go for the Defog now. Expecting my opponent to switch. There's no point for them to stay in. With the burn, they're not going to do any damage to me. And it seems they're just going to go for the Sticky Webs. And I'm just going to go for Defog again. No, actually. Is my opponent going to stay in? Is my opponent going to stay in? I think my opponent's going to switch out now. So I'm going to go for the Scald, actually. So that way I don't knock it out if he stays in. Excellent. Yeah, perfect. Now I'm absolutely going to KO it with the burn after this Defog if he stays in. The Storm does absolutely no damage to me. I'm going to take back some HP using the leftovers. He's going to go down to the Scald, and Queen Pen gets the first KO of this battle. I've gotten rid of the Stick Webs without any problem whatsoever. In comes the Boombox. I'm going to knock off this asshole. No damage once again. Knock off does 51%. Knocks off the Choice Specs. This is incredible. Let's go for the Scald just in case he switches out. This is going great. This right here is going phenomenally. I'm going to take that Focus Blast because I am such a beast. And here I'm going to go for the Aqua Jet, aiming for the KO. Oh, I am so happy this set works out. Let's see. Is he going to switch out? Explode does a lot of damage on the likes of Rotom, so he might want to keep it alive. But no, he leaves it in, and I get the KO with the Aqua Jet. The heat! So we're off to a phenomenal start. Queen Pen lands 2 KOs on my opponent's team already. I still have access to the knockoff, which might prove useful right here, actually. I suspect my opponent's going to aim for the KO now, but if I can get this knockoff off, I get the knockoff. I get the knockoff on the Eviolite, and now this thing is incredibly weakened. Excellent. This one is no threat to me anymore. I'm just going to go for the how much did Tri Attack do? I'm just going to go for the Scald. Yeah, it did KO. There was a chance he might not KO if I went for the Scald, and just on the off chance that I might land the burn. However, now that my opponent's weakened, I have no reason not to go into Mega Lopunny and just click the high jump kick. He might have Protect, protect in order to make myself hit the recoil damage. But honestly, I'm not that worried. I do 48% on the Iron Lady right here. I think my opponent is going to expect me to switch out. I'm going to go for the safe Power Punch. It does no damage. My opponent is actually heat proof. Heat proof Bronzong. That's nice. Okay, but I can still end the KO with the. He does have the protect. Okay, so that is a bit unfortunate. Just a bit unfortunate, but it is not a big deal. I'm going to let's see. Let's switch out into Hydrown. I suspect my opponent is going to have either Gyro Ball or the Earthquake in order to hit me, and there's no point staying in. This thing deals a ton of damage on the Porygon 2 and the Tauros, so I want to keep it alive. We're just going to send in Rotom, a very safe switch, burn something, go for the Volt Switch, and keep going from there. Let's see what they go for. My opponent goes for the Toxic. Unfortunately, they miss. It's sort of a big deal since this mon is very bulky and designed to take on the Mega Scizor. However, I don't think it's going to change much in the long run. Still, let's go for the Volt Switch. My opponent is going to stay in. Why do I want to go in against that thing? Yeah, alright, let's go with this. I'm going to send in Jean. As my opponent misses again. That is so unfortunate. Still, I'm going to take this chance and run with it. I'm just going to go for another Volt Switch as my opponent switches out into the Porygon 2, taking the Specs Volt Switch damage from my Jean. Let's see. I'm just going to switch in Mega Lopunny again and go for the Fake Out. Just on the off chance that my opponent goes for the Protect. Again, I still have no clue what moves my opponent has, and Fake Out did 20%. I'm going to be able to KO with the Fire Punch. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Gentle Trainer left for some reason. I hope they're not bored with the battle. I hope they're not, but if they are, I can't do anything about it. I'm just going to go for the safe Fire Punch. No point switching out. I'm going to get KO'd by the Gyro Ball. I didn't want to take the chance of something getting KO'd for no purpose. Mega Lopunny did its job. It KO'd Porygon 2. And I'm just going to send this in, go for the Volt Switch, and either KO or cripple something in the process. Let's see what they go for. I'm just going to KO the Bronzong with John, and I'll be switching out into my wall the Rotom Wash. Hydrown, the Rotom Wash, still has access to that sweet, sweet Will-O-Wisp, and it's going to cripple any mon he decides to bring in. That being the Tauros. Oh, that does a lot of damage actually. Okay, so I went for the yeah, let's go for the Pain Split. It did KO. It did KO. All right, all right, all right. So that's not a huge deal. That is not a huge deal. All three of my remaining Pokemon have access to a Fire move in order to take down the Mega Scizor, and as such, I am definitely not worried. My opponent has 178 speed. I have 157. Alright, so I think my safest switch is going to be to go into Ambulance and just go for the Wish. Rock Climb still does a ton of damage, I don't want Dragonite to take unnecessary damage from the Rock Climb, and I'm actually going to switch out here into Dragonite. It's going to take some damage, but the Wish will heal it back. And there we go, I'm back to full. Back to full, and now I'm just going to go for the Expert Belt Flamethrower against the Mega Scizor, and one-hit KO them on. GG. It's a solid 3-0 victory for me. Good game to my opponent. It was a pleasure fighting the London Leavannys, and I believe my opponent has simply been out-prepped, not necessarily outplayed. I'm looking forward to more matches this week, and to watch the remaining battles of the Leavannys over the following weeks. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll be seeing you around.